I am she that knows that love I deserve. As people, we put walls up because we are afraid of getting hurt. As people, we put our hearts on ice because we've been hurt by our past. Not necessarily always a relationship with love. It's been a family member, a friend, or just being disappointed by life, period. I am she that went on dates alone to understand me. I am she that understands my power. I am she.
Hello, everybody. And I thank you. I know it's been a while, but welcome to Testimonial Tuesday. I am your host, Sheena Godine, author of the book called The Mask Behind the Mask and the book of Unveil the Broken Pieces of the Mask. And of course, we always have my beautiful co-host, Miss Lyrica Seven in the building.
Hey.
I would also love for you to meet our guest for today. She's a woman of many hats. And her name is Miss PAIGE.
Hi,
How you doing? Welcome. So, how y'all ladies' week been so far? It's only Tuesday, but
Right.
I've been our birthday party, dealing with this 5-year-old going on 60 years old.
Sound about right.
Yeah, so we did him a little birthday party. That's over with, so I'm done with it, and I enjoyed. So, and then this baby, these hips, and oh Lord, I've been trying to move, but I can't. So I had to miss school for 2 days. So
okay.
yeah, so I'm back in action. Did a couple of stretches. I'm gonna be okay.
Amen to that. So, as Testimonial Tuesdays, as always, we are always here to bless people with different stories, different things. So first, I want you to tell the people who you are and where you're from.
Me or Miss Lyrica?
You.
Okay.
You, ma'am. It's all about you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is PAIGE Parkerson. I'm 29. I'm from Beaumont, Texas. I'm a junior advocate for domestic violence. I encourage people not to go down the route that I went down as much as I can. Currently, I'm working on starting my own business. It's called About My Father's Business, nonprofit organization for homeless people and women of domestic violence. I'm in the process of that. Hopefully, in 2022, we'll have it all together. So that's what I do for a living.
I love it. What are you going to school for?
Right now, I'm going for cosmetology, but I've been for
you should have been close. I need my hair there, girl.
Yes, I'm going for cosmetology, but I've been for culinary nursing. I just want to try different things.
Okay.
It's always good to have different degrees under your belt.
Absolutely. So, can we get to the testimony of why they call you the Mother Day Killer?
Oh yes, that took place 10 years ago. And I just came out and talked about it this year. About 2 weeks ago, I finally told my side of the story, but not so much as my side. I didn't speak on really how it made me feel and everything that I dealt with. But 10 years ago, I was in an abusive relationship with the father of my children. And I was 13 when I met him. So my abuse started at a young age. And I was with him for 7 years. For 6 of the years, I took the beatings. I didn't fight back. And so the year that I did decide to fight back is when he died. So my story was taken out of terms because it went worldwide because people were basically saying, oh, she killed this man over flowers in a car. And that was not the case. My abuse started, like I said, when I was 13. I should have took heed to the red signs, the warnings before. I didn't understand at 13 the way he was fighting on his sister like she was a dog off the street. The way he hated his mom was signs that I was headed for devastation. The first time it happened, I can remember it started off with him choking me, and I let that slide. You know, I let it slide. You know, maybe, you know, I thought about it like, okay, well, he just jealous. Maybe it's my fault. You know, he choked me because somebody said that I looked good. It should have been a sign of control right there.
Right.
Didn't know what I knew now.
Right.
Um, is this okay? Did you want me to start telling my story?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, ladies. I was just going on and on.
This,
No.
and that's what it is. This is what we do. We want you to just
Mm-hmm.
take it on. You're fine. If I have any questions, I'll dip on in. But
Yes,
continue.
ma'am. Yeah, so I should have took it as a warning sign, like well, that's wrong. You don't get mad at me because somebody told you I'm beautiful, but instead I was
Right.
like, well, maybe I need to, you know, start wearing revealing clothes, and you know, maybe I won't get the attention from everybody. So it started off mediocre, choking, you know, not really damaging. So then I can remember when it took a turn for the worst. The second incident, and it's crazy because I can remember most of our bad days more than I can remember our good days.
Mm.
And I could just I'm living in that moment right now where I could just
Right.
see me, you know, like see me going through it. So like I said, the second incident where I should have walked away, I was pregnant. I was about 7.5 months, and we got into an argument. He was at work. He left work, came where I was, went to a sister house of mine that I was staying at, took my clothes and dumped them in the trash can. So as I was walking up the stairs, he choked me and I flipped over the stairway and landed on my stomach when I was 7 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, if that wasn't damaging enough, he came down the stairs, picked me up and choked me against the wall until I couldn't breathe and until somebody ran out and stopped him.
Mm.
So I ended up in the hospital. So that's when his mom, she revealed to me in the hospital that he's acting like his father. So they confused me, and I asked her what she meant, and she told me, well, his dad used to beat me, and
Mm.
that's why I gave him away because every time I looked at him, he reminded me of his father.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, so now yeah, now at 29, I understand you were emotionally and mentally battered as a child.
Yeah.
Not saying that that gives you the right,
Right.
but it starts at home.
Right.
Like it starts at, you know, what you see. You know,
Mm-hmm.
most of the time it starts at home and what you see. Because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't grow up in a abusive home, so that didn't give me, you know, the right. You know, that didn't make me want to deal with it. You know,
Right.
I would say him knowing he was abandoned by his mother and gave away made me feel like I owe him some type of uh like I'm not gonna leave you like she
Mm-hmm.
did. I'm not gonna hurt you like she did, you know?
Right.
So I stayed. Then we ended up getting our own apartment. So then it started from choking to holding me hostage in the house. You know, he would sleep with the couch in front of the door so I wouldn't leave. I remember one time, while we were staying out there, I had just had our son, my firstborn, and we got into an argument, and because he was like head of household, and I was just like, you know, on the lease, I was young, you know, he we got into an argument. He choked me, and I told him I wanted to leave. So he made me strip naked, and he put me outside of the door in the apartment complex. We stayed in the projects at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Bowman is very, very small. And like I had to like silently bang on the door for him to let me back in because I didn't want people to pass by and see me. So I should have ran then, you know. I should have ran
Right.
then. So, you know, that choking turned into holding me hostage in the house. Holding me hostage in the house turned into him physically hitting me with his fist.
Mm.
Um, I began to get like low in self esteem. You
Yeah.
know, um, I, st- I started to lose who I was. You know, I didn't know who I was anymore. This somebody I love. This somebody I had a kid with. But it was my first. You know, as women, your first is a lot to you. You know, somebody you gave your
Right.
virginity to, somebody you had two kids with. You know, at the time one. So I didn't know how to leave. You know, I didn't know how to leave. I mean, I had people telling me, you know, Paige, let it go, you know, leave. You know, it's easier said than done, you know. It's easier said than done. So I stayed and I stayed. And it got worse. I remember one time he held me down and beat my breast.
Wow.
Um it was just like a torturing thing because people was like, you need to leave, it's either gonna be you or him. And you know, being young,
Yeah.
it matters how you come at people when people are in abuse. It matters how you approach them or how you talk to them, and you know how you convince them. You know, and at the time, you could talk to me till I was blue in the face. I still was gonna do what I wanted to do. You know,
Right.
I'm just being straightforward. You know,
Right. It's the truth though.
I have heard a lot of women say, I would never be with somebody that beat me, and I'll never go through this, and I'll never go through that. But you truly don't know what you would deal with until you're in it. You know,
Right.
when
Absolutely.
when your heart and your mind is like, it's like tug of war. You know what you should be doing, but your heart. You know, the Bible said, I think the heart is wicked. You know, like it'll confuse you, and like that's what I was going through. Like, who else gonna love me? Who else gonna
Right.
take care of me? Who else gonna want me? And so it got worse, to the point where I had to start calling the police. I had to start, you know, I had to. Nobody else couldn't help me. I had to try to get some help, you know, some type of way. You know, they started my paper trail. You know, so we would fight. I would go back, and I would go back. Even when he would fight me, he would black my eye. My neck would be so raw from him dragging me with a shirt through the house, and then he would want to make love after that. You know, like that degraded me even more. Like, how can you even make love to me with this black eye, with this busted
Right.
lip? You know, that degraded me. That beat my self esteem down even more.
Yeah.
You know, so I stayed in and I dealt with it. You know, I loved him. I wanted us to be a family. You know, I depended on him financially. I depended on him with everything. You know, I wasn't working. I didn't have no income. I wasn't doing nothing at the time. So it got worse. So it took a different turn. And at this time I was 6 years in. And I remember I used to have this blue sweater. This the day it turned. This the day I fought. I decided in my mind and my heart, I don't care if I can't win. I'm going to fight back. Um, I had this blue sweater, and I used to say it was my bad luck sweater. Cause every time I wore it, he beat me. So one day in particular, he was mad at me the day before because he wanted me to do something, and I didn't do it. And the next day, you know, I knew we was gonna get into an argument. That I knew it from the time I put on this sweater. So we got into it, and he started fighting on me again. At the time, my son was 1, and he stepped in the middle and tried to push him off of me. You know, tried to push him off of me, and I don't know what it was behind me. I picked it up and I swung it at him, and I tried to run out the house. And while I was trying to run, he had this thing like, even though, you know, I run, he'll still come after me no matter what. He would still come. So in that particular moment, he came after me, and I went tumbling down the stairs. So I'm walking, and like I said, Bowman is very small. So where I'm walking at it's like by a schoolhouse, a church, you know, a restaurant. So I got a black eye, a ripped shirt, a bloody nose, like blood from my nose all the way down to my lip. And I'm crying and I'm running and, you know, cars blowing and they, you know, baby, come on, you need some help, you know, somebody call the police, you know, somebody help her, you know, and I'm still like, no, I can't stop. I got to keep running.
Right.
So I had made it to my grandmother's house and, my grandma had a hole in her throat.
Mm.
And she had been like that for a while, so we could understand her talking, even though we couldn't
Mm-hmm.
hear her words. And so I remember sitting on my grandmother's bed, and I was crying. And then she looked at me and she said, "Look at you." She said, "Look at your face." She picked me up and she put me in front of a mirror and she said, "Your mama is rolling around in her grave, knowing you letting a man beat you like that." She
Mm.
said, "I know you gonna go back. You always go back." She said, "But from this day forward, you fight." She said, "You fight for your life." She said,
Right.
"You not gonna leave him alone. I know you not." She said, "I've been there before. I didn't even know my grandmother used to get beat." And so when she told me that, she said, "I don't care what's around you. You pick up something, you fight for your life." And so that day I vowed to myself, I don't care if I didn't win. I was gonna fight. I was
Mm-hmm.
gonna fight. So that's what I did. So we would fight. You know, I wouldn't just take it no more. We would fight. You know, if I'm gonna have a black eye, you gonna have one. If I'm gonna have a scratch on my face, you gonna have one. You know, I can't beat you, but I'm not about to keep letting you beat me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so um, rest my grandma's soul. She the reason why I found my strength in a way. And the night in
Amen, Grandma.
particular, yes, rest her soul. Um, that night in particular, the Mother's Day weekend, um, I could remember the weekend I had through the mothers in my life, Mother's Day party. And the weekend we had fun the whole weekend, you know, the whole weekend. Um I threw a party. The next day was Mother's Day. I got up, I went to church with my kids. We went to church, and then later on we went after church. We went to my house. We did a seafood boil. Um, we did a seafood boil. I was in a good mood. I was in a happy mood. I didn't see him all day. He was on the block selling drugs, so I didn't see him all day. And everybody left my house. We all went our separate ways. We told each other we loved each other. I hadn't seen him all day, so when he finally came, I had his food in the microwave. You know, the house was clean. I had bathed the babies. I had put them to sleep. Um, I was the last one to take a bath, and then after that, I laid down with my son. And he had left. When he left, it was about 12 something. And when he came back, by the time he came back, I had dozed off. You know, so watching Lifetime, I had dozed off. So when he came in, it was about when I looked at the clock, it was about 12 something, almost one. And he came and brought me roses in a card. And I got it from him and I put it on
Mm-hmm.
side the bed and I rolled back over because my lawyer, in my trial, my lawyer asked me something and it made sense. And he was like, "Is it not common for you to be in a relationship with somebody and they forget your birthday, they forget your anniversary, they
Mm-hmm.
forget Mother's Day, and you salty about it? But was you salty or was you angry, Paige?" I said I would say I was a little upset, but I wasn't mad to the point where okay, you forgot Mother's Day and you gotta die. You know
Right.
how ridiculous that sound, you know. So my lawyer was like, so you admit you was a bit salty, but you wasn't angry. You not to the point where you wanted to just kill him because he forgot Mother's Day. I said, yes,
Right.
I agree. I was a bit salty. Not saying when I woke up the next day I wasn't gonna appreciate that them flowers or that card, you know. But it was never a thought in my head, oh, you gotta die because you bought me card and flowers.
Right.
So I believe his mother and his cousins came in. They talked to me for a little while. They love, but she knew his mother knew he was upset because I didn't say nothing about the card on the flowers. So that made him more upset than me, you know. So he
Mm-hmm.
was already in the kitchen shouting stuff, saying stuff, you know. So his mother left. My brother came over, I believe, and he asked me about a gun. We had a gun, but I wasn't about to let him leave with a gun.
Right.
So because my sister was going through abuse at the time, and he wanted the gun to help her.
Mm-hmm.
So he left, and then when he left, I got up to lock the door. And when I was on my way to lock the door, he seen me go to the door, and then it started from there. It started into an argument, and then it turned into an altercation, and then it resulted in me defending myself, which is when he died. And like I tell people, I can't remember detail from
Mm-hmm.
detail because everything happened so fast. It's kind of
Fast.
like watching yourself outside your body,
Right.
if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I can see me trying to help him, trying to aid him back to health. I can see me reaching for the phone to call the police. You know, I can see. Uh, it just seems like I'm looking at myself outside of my body. It's me, but I'm standing here looking at me. You
Right.
know, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And I remember just sitting in the back of a cop car, and it just was like lights surrounding me, like it was so many lights, and I'm in my mind. I'm telling myself, this can't be real. This got to be a dream. You know, I'm trying to convince myself. You know,
Right.
mentally, this not real. I'm gonna wake up any second now. This a dream. You know, this a dream. And I just remember being so out of my body. I didn't come to that night. I came to the next day while I was in jail,
Mm.
and I can remember me. It's like something inside of me just clicking on reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, you in jail for murder.
Right.
You're in jail. Like, this not no dream. You here. And like,
Mm-hmm.
I just lost it in jail, and like everybody in my dorm was trying to like calm me down because I was so out of there to the point where I didn't know where I was.
Mm.
So I went through that. I went through that. I was about maybe 20, 21 at the time. 20. I say I was 20, and I sat in jail, and I cried. Anybody would be devastated, think
Right.
about it.
Yes.
Especially when you're
Of course.
defending yourself in the process. That's really it's
Yes,
a difficult process because the fact is that you're in jail because you defended yourself. And the fact that you had to defend yourself because somebody was hitting on you, abusing you, doing
right.
everything that shouldn't have been doing to you, and now they have you in jail. So yeah, I definitely understand.
Yes, I was devastated. I was traumatized. I was so messed up in jail. I tried to commit suicide. They had to put me on
Mm,
suicide watch.
mm,
It was a lot. I mean, even when I got out of jail, it was a lot. So while I was in there, I had met this lady. The crazy thing about God is when you going through something, and you think it's worse for you, it's always somebody going through something worse.
Somebody
absolutely.
worse.
And
Absolutely.
he would put those type of people in your face for you to understand it's not that bad, baby. It's not as bad as this person got it.
Mm-hmm.
So That's definitely what he did. I had met another individual who was in jail for capital murder, and the only way for her was the death penalty or life in jail. I
Wow.
said, well, I was facing murder, and I was just facing time. You understand what I'm saying? It was a possibility for me to get out and live my life, maybe 30, 40 years, but this person was in front of me trying to nurture me, and she was facing life in jail, you know.
How much
So
time were they looking to give you?
yeah. So it was she was nurturing me while I was in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Um then I was court appointed a lawyer. Same lawyer I was court appointed was the same lawyer we was trying to hire for my abuser because he had got caught up in a drug charge. So they should have let me know boy
Wow.
was already in the midst
Wow.
because
Right.
I was just sitting in this man's office 2 months prior to me ending up in jail.
Right.
And when he seen me, he said, "You was just in my office trying to hire me for your boyfriend." And he said, "Oh my God, is this him?" And I told him, "Yeah." So he told me, he said, "I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best to get you out of here." And so, I should have knew God was working. I should have knew God
Yeah.
was in the midst.
Right.
So, believe it or not, two 2 months and a half in jail. I had bonded out
Okay.
um on a murder charge,
Wow.
and I had the worst judge at the time, Judge Lane Walker. I had the worst judge at the time. So I got out of jail, but I was still in my depression. I was still sinking because reality grasped me, but to start my life again in a new routine
Right.
to where I was accustomed to the unnormal. You understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
if that makes
Absolutely.
sense. If that makes sense,
Mhm.
trying to get used to living without this person that I was
Mm-hmm.
so used to living with.
Yeah.
Um, I wish I could just like I wish I could show y'all everything because I was going through so much mentally. I was trying everything, trying to raise him from the dead. I was trying to, mend my broken heart, but at the same time forgetting about my kids.
Mm.
My kids that needed me at the time. Now I
Right.
had two little boys. So it became me being angry with God because I wanted to know
Mm-hmm.
why me.
Right.
Why you chose me? Why me? I remember sitting in jail asking God that question. And when I tell you God came to me and showed me different scenes in my life when he tried to get me to walk away, but I refused to.
Wow.
See,
Mm.
as women, what we don't understand is, and not just women, because when you love a certain way, you love. And don't get me wrong, when it comes to abuse, it's just not a one-way street with me. Because you could be a
Right.
man being abused, you could be a
Yes.
child being abused,
Yes.
you can be
Mm-hmm.
with the gay community being abused. It
Mhm.
works. It's all forms for everybody.
Yeah.
But the way I love, like, it was hard. So God started telling me that I was cherishing him. I
Mm-hmm.
was putting him before
For
him.
him. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And God, thou shouldn't have another God before me, for I am a jealous
Right.
God. God showed me that I had made a promise in my heart that I wasn't gonna leave him alone no matter what.
Mm.
So God basically looked at it like you choosing him over me.
Right.
And I remember my auntie coming to me telling me, "Why you won't give yourself to God?" And I told him, "Well, when he ready to give himself to God, then I will." But God said, "Oh, you gonna give
So you
yourself
was
to
waiting
me?"
on him.
Yeah. God
God.
said, "Oh, you gonna give yourself to me whether you like it or not." And I used to pray. I used to say, "God, take this man out of my life."
Mm.
And they say the way we think is not like the way God thinks.
No, it's
So
not.
be careful with that mouth because you gotta be
Mm-hmm.
careful what you asking for.
Exactly.
You want him out your life? I'm about to show you how we gonna get him out your life. Not the way you think, but I'm about to get him out your life. So I say all that to say I was cherishing him. He was my God.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And God wasn't okay with it.
Right.
And so I went through that, and for 4 years, and my situation lasted 4 years and 4 days.
Your trial. I mean, for you
Yeah,
fighting your
yes, ma'am.
case.
For 4 years, my
Wow.
trial was reset, and my trial lasted for 4 days.
Mm.
When it was time to go, I didn't know how to feel. I was like, you watch this type of stuff on TV.
TV, like a movie.
This not my life. I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
dare be in a jury room with 12 people, a judge, and my family facing a murder trial.
Right.
And I went through that, and it was the most scariest, scariest thing in my life. But let me tell you something. After that situation, there ain't nothing I can face now.
Right.
So I went through that for 4 days. And in trial, it's a up and down, it's a roller coaster ride.
Yeah. A lot of emotion.
One day it look good for you, look like you gonna come out of there, and then the next day you look like the most craziest person people ever met, because they dig up everything in your past. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, because I never
Mm-hmm.
been. I got a past. Yeah, we all do.
Right.
Right.
So all that counts in trial. You sitting in this hot seat, and these people can say whatever they want to say about you. You can't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You better not make a facial expression. You better not nothing. You just gotta be nothing. Just a chill. That's it. And I went through that, and I can remember the last part of the trial where the judge said, "Well, we gonna break and we gonna deliberate." I walked out that courtroom and my feet just got weak, and like
Mm.
everybody that was with me, support me, they had to hold me up,
Wow.
because for me, I wasn't coming out of there.
Right.
Not where I'm from. I ain't
Mhm.
never heard of nobody beat a murder trial. That night I went home. I ain't even stay at home. I stayed with my kids, because if I was gonna go to jail the next morning, I wanted to spend my last moments with my kids. And I remember just crying to God. I was crying. I said, God, I said, God, money can't help me. I said, people can't help me.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I said, God, I need you.
Yes. Yes. Amen.
I said, you know my heart. I said, you know my heart. I said, God, please don't let my enemy have victory over me.
Yes.
I mean, it was all on the news. It was all on
Mhm.
the news. Everywhere I turned around, we was trying to hide it from my kids. You know,
Mhm.
I remember begging God. I remember begging Him, don't let me go to jail. I don't want to go to jail. I don't
Mhm.
want to go back. I told God to help me. I told Him to help me, and I read Psalm 25,
Mm.
and I never forget that. And the next day of court, they they told me to rise, but before I did, I told my lawyer, I said if I go to jail, tell my auntie I have money in my backpack. She can
Mm-hmm.
keep it for my kids. And he looked at me and he said, "Don't you believe all good things work for those who love the Lord?" And I
That's
looked at
right.
him and I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "All right, grab my hand. Let's stand up."
Mm.
And it was a unanimous decision
Mm.
that all 12 people found me not guilty.
Amen.
Amen.
And
Amen.
it was unbelievable.
Mm.
And and that day, I kind of like felt like I was floating the whole day. Like
Mhm.
my feet couldn't touch the ground. You
Mm.
know, I just remember all the hurt that added up to those 4 years and those 4 days.
Right.
And I still get emotional about it because it
Mm-hmm.
was like the worst thing I ever experienced in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
course. Yeah, most definitely.
It was you know, it was horrible. And so after that, I told my auntie, I said this over with. I said I don't never want to talk about that again. I said I'm done with it. She said no, no, you not. She said God did not allow you to go through this for you not to help nobody else.
Right.
Amen.
She said, oh, you gonna talk about it, you gonna serve them. So
Amen.
for for a couple of years, me and God, now I know he with me and he hear me. We've been arguing back and forth for years. You know, I'm in the club, I'm drinking. Like I said, I got a pass. He
Mm-hmm. We
still
all
come
do.
to me. He
Hmm.
still come to me. You know you gonna tell people what I done for you, right? I'm like, God, I'm not doing it. We going at it for years. He like, you gonna tell somebody what I done for you. You gonna open your mouth. He would allow me to go to them videos every night that people made about me being a Mother's Day killer. He would allow me to, in the depths of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, go watch them videos and read all the comments from
Mm-hmm.
all these people that didn't even know me.
Right.
Right.
You know, and tell me. So you don't want to tell your story? You don't want to put it to rest? It's like he was basically molding me,
Mm-hmm.
like putting it inside my spirit. You need to talk. You need to speak up.
Hmm.
So this year I said, all right, I think I'm ready, God. So again, for the last 2 years I've been back in my Bible, been back in, you know, I don't go to
Amen.
church every Sunday, but I put on my church music because church is
Mm-hmm.
inside of you.
That's
Right.
right.
So I
That's
I
right.
I get my spirit right. I treat people right. I don't
Mm-hmm.
get over on people. I don't feel like I'm better than. I teach my kids that we not better than nobody. We normal. We
Right.
not. And what's on this earth, do not take it and hold it as your prized possession because we just passing through. This not.
That's
That's
right.
it.
I tell people this. I tell my kids, y'all my earthly children. I said, cause y'all belong to God first. And they laugh at me
Mm.
when I tell them that, but they don't even understand.
Yeah.
Right.
So I try. Over the years, I matured. I
Mm.
have mentally matured and I have grew. So I separated myself from certain people, certain things, certain places. I'm not the same person no more.
That's right.
And
So
that's
yes,
absolutely awesome because you have to remove yourself from certain things and you have to go through things to grow through it. So absolutely is awesome that you took a different path to become a different person.
yes, ma'am. And
I have this quote that I like to say, and it says that through pain, strength and purpose are born.
yes, ma'am.
And it's a lot of times that we don't recognize our purpose. We can't, in order, just like in the physical, like in order to gain muscle, there has to be resistance.
Mhm.
You're never going to build any muscle. You're never going to build strength without resistance. And so we have resistance in our lives that builds and fortifies us for the purpose that God has for us.
Right.
And so I just thank God, even though, like, this is nothing that God wanted for us, but you said it earlier on that a lot of times we make decisions and we make choices, not understanding the repercussions of those choices. It's a rippling effect. When we make these choices, it doesn't just affect us, it affects everybody around us, and vice
Definitely.
versa. Choices that are made by our parents and people around us, they affect us. And so it's a rippling effect. But I thank
Mm-hmm.
God that you are here today. I thank God that you can stand. A lot of times they say your misery becomes your ministry. And
Yes.
this is now a ministry for you to get healing for yourself and to reach back and help other people not go the way you went, or encourage someone to let them know that, listen, it may seem like you are defeated, but God is there
Yes.
with you. There is nothing too difficult. There's nothing impossible that God can't do, that God can't overcome. The battle is not yours, it belongs to the Lord. So I
Yes.
thank God for your life and your testimony.
Absolutely. And question, what is your message to the younger version? Because you know we're definitely trying to reach the younger kids, the younger youth. So I know you went through this process, but what advice can you give to someone that is traveling the same road, or signs that they may need to look out for that could be going down the same path?
Um, I would definitely tell the youth, as I tell them now, because I track them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Corinthians tell you what love is. Love is
Mm,
patient. Love is kind.
yes.
I was, as far as red flags, look at the way he treat his family. Look at the way he treat his mother. Look at how quick his temper is.
Mm,
And don't be afraid to walk away. I used to hear. I have a lady that used to mentor me, Miss Virginia Battles, and she's doing domestic violence right now. And she said it. She said it so plain and clear. It is easy to walk away than to be rolled away.
that's
Right.
right. Yeah.
And so that is all of it in a nutshell. While
Yeah.
you young, love like teenage wise, I'm telling you, at 13, I wish I wouldn't have met no. I wish I would have been like, nah, I don't want to be with nobody. I wish I would have been
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm gonna stay a virgin. I'm gonna stay in school. I don't have
Mm,
time for that. I wish I would have went to the army. Do not live your life moving so fast that later on you'll be living with regrets. You don't want to do that.
Right.
yeah.
I be
Yeah.
telling them all the time. I run into. I got friends that's 20 and 17. I got friends that's, and I tell them no matter my age. If y'all and some of them don't like to talk to their parents, and that's why I tell parents listen to your children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remind them that they're loved, they're beautiful, they're
Right.
handsome. We're- Build themselves. Even though we gonna go down our own path and our own road, you still want to ensure them, encourage them,
That's right.
Right.
and be different. Just you don't have to, because I was peer pressured into losing my virginity. Because you want to know something, I wouldn't even worry about sex at the time. Sex was not important to me. I was more of a tomboy, but because
Mm-hmm.
my friends was everybody was doing it, I feel like, okay, well, something must be wrong with me because I'm an outsider. So I did what everybody else was doing. Dare I tell my kids all day, dare to be different.
Be
Don't
a
be like
leader.
everybody around
Right.
you. I said different is unique. I have a 8-year-old. He wants to be a wrestler. And people laugh at him because he want to be a wrestler instead of a football player or a basketball player. I tell him all the time, no, you go be a wrestler. That's
Mm-hmm.
different. I say you want
Right.
to be different. You want to stand out.
That's
Don't
right.
Right.
be like everybody around you. That's my
That's
that's
right.
my that's my encouragement words for young adults, young adolescents. Be different.
Right.
Make some goals and stick with them. Love can wait.
And remember to love yourself first. Don't
And
look
love
for love
yourself
in all the
first.
wrong places.
Yes, love
Exactly.
yourself
That's
first.
sometimes where it fails and faults, because we be looking for it in all the wrong places because we're lacking it somewhere from our parents or
Yes,
wherever
and
it
that's
may
how
be.
that's why I dealt with abuse as long as I did. I was abandoned by my father at a young age. So I was looking for
Right.
a fatherly, manly love
Mhm.
in my abuser.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
after him, man, I was 13 dating 30-year-old. I mean, I was 13, 14, 15 dating 30-year-old man. The man that
Right.
shouldn't even been looking at me like that. But
Right.
because I was
Exactly.
lacking that love from my father, that's what I looked for. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
so yeah, definitely self-worth, self-esteem is everything.
Yes.
Absolutely is.
It's
Absolutely.
everything.
Mm.
And so,
Definitely. So, how hard was it to tell your kids? Like, how did you
oh
go? Because
man,
being that that was your kid's
Lord.
father, I know
Mm-hmm.
that was a roller coaster conversation. The fact is that, you know, it was the kid's father, and then you were abused by him, but then you had to, it end up, you know, at the end, the result is that, you know, you end up taking his life to save yours. So,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
did you go about delivering that to your children? And I know it took a while because you had to figure out when
Oh,
was the right time to tell them.
um, I might have said that age is wrong, but I'm a mama, y'all. Please excuse
It's
mama.
all right.
And I
It's
got pregnancy
okay.
brain right now. But I have a nine
Lord.
and two a 9 and 12-year-old for my abuser. And they've been asking me this story since they were about 7 and 5. They've been asking since they were young. And over the years, because they stay with my auntie and my uncle. And so over the years, my auntie would tell them, when your mom ready, and we talked, we said when they old enough, we will let them know. And so just recently this year, this is what really gave me my courage to speak out. They asked me, that was like, well, mama, we old enough, we ready to know, we want to talk about it. The hardest thing I ever had to do besides sitting in trial, because my whole fear was that they gonna hate me, they gonna reject me, they not gonna love me, and it was already crushing me inside because I didn't know how to explain this to these young men. So I had got with a friend of mine and we had the conversation and I'm crying. He was like, well, kids like movies, kids like movies. So if I was you, I try to show them a movie first and just get their opinion while they're watching the movie. And I didn't even have to ask. Lifetime got the best abuse, movies.
Absolutely.
Should have put on Enough, because that's one of my favorite movies.
That's my movie. I like the movie and the book. Yes.
Hey, that's one of my. I wasn't even thinking about Enough at the time, but I had put on another movie from Lifetime. It was a good movie too. So I sat them down and I said, well, okay, y'all ready? We about to talk about what happened to your father. I want y'all to be open minded. We sat down. I put on a movie. I told them I wanted them to pay attention and don't look away from the screen. I just want y'all to be into the movie. And as they was watching it, I didn't have to ask questions. They were telling me, Mama, that's wrong. Mama, she shouldn't go back. He gonna kill her. Mama, why she keep going back to him? Mama, he gonna kill her. Mama, she need to leave. Why she just didn't leave? And the end of the movie resulted in the woman hiring somebody to kill her abuser. And so when the movie was over with, I said, how y'all felt about the movie? And they said, that was wrong, Mama. He shouldn't have hit her like that. He kept getting worse and worse. So I said, well, I wanted y'all to watch this movie because this is what happened with me and your father. And so my 12-year-old was like, he used to beat you? And I said, yes, baby. He and my 9-year-old, he was like, dang, Mom, I'm sorry for you. That's messed up, So I said, your father isn't here anymore because he died because I tried to defend myself when he used to fight on me. And so my second born was like, so we don't have a father anymore. I said, no, baby, you don't. So he was like, well, Mama, you had to do what you had to do. He was like, and I forgive you. He was like, because he used to hurt you and that's not right. And my 12-year-old, he said, yeah, Mama, it's okay. He used to hurt you. So, I mean, that's wrong, So, I mean, that was like the best, like, best thing ever, that they didn't hate me, that they loved me. And I asked them, I said, so y'all don't hate me? They said, no, we don't hate you, Mama. We love you. And I then showed them the video of the Mother's Day killer video, the one that's on YouTube. And they said they so silly. They was like, Mama, that's me when I was a baby. I was ugly. Like, they start saying stupid stuff like that. No, they was like, oh, Mama, they did you dirty. That's messed up, Mama. Like, joking about it. It's that made me feel good. And it didn't change our relationship at all because my oldest, he still love to be around me. That's my seafood partner. We get seafood, we eat it all day long. And my second born, he acts just like me. So he very active, and that's my babies. So that gave me my courage, to
awesome.
they accept you. You shouldn't care about what nobody else say. You know, so
Yes, that's absolutely true.
yeah. And so this year I started working on my video, and it took me 2 months to talk to the camera. And so, like I said, I'm telling y'all, Miss Lyrica and, and Miss Miss Shada, I was just about to punk out the day I posted it. I was in the parking
Gotcha.
lot of my school. I was about to punk out. I told Miss Shada this story.
You
Mm-hmm.
did.
And
You
then
did.
God said, "Go ahead and you better go. You
Yep.
came too far now. You got people. You better
Yes.
go.
Yeah.
We did too much." And I
Right.
posted it, and I just felt good from all the positive
Amen.
feedback I got.
Good,
And
good.
I told God, "Hey, I'm here. Use me. I'm ready."
Right.
Amen. That's
Yeah.
Amen.
So
awesome. Phenomenal.
So, for the people that weren't here when you first came in, could you let them know what your goal is to do now, since that you have moved on from, you have now stepped into walking down the purpose of what you're here
Yes.
for.
That's right.
Regardless of what it looked like in your past, you don't look like that anymore. And I
That's right.
know it was hard, and I know it was the hardest process you had to go through, but you have to go through it to grow through it.
That's
yes,
So could
right.
you
ma'am.
tell them what's your next step now, after coming from being that title to now what God has for you to do?
Yes, ma'am. My goal is solely to keep reaching and touching and letting God use me. Like I told you before, I'm a junior advocate, so I plan on reaching as many adolescents as possible. I'm still trying to reach people. I harass the Steve Harvey Morning Show. You know, I harass anybody that ain't talking about domestic violence. You
Right.
know,
Yes.
I want to see a law be made behind
Mm.
this. You know, whatever it takes. A law that's gonna change many lives. You know, people look over domestic violence. I
Right.
wanna shine the brightest light I can to let people know, hey, wake up. This is something that we all are going
Yes.
through. You could be
Right.
getting abused right now and don't even know it. You don't even know
Mm-hmm.
the signs because you're so used to the abnormal you're living in.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's right.
that's my goal. I'm going to bring awareness as much as I can. One day
Awesome.
I plan on being a preacher. That's what I
Okay.
really want to do because God gave me a voice and I know why He gave me a
Amen.
voice.
That's right.
So
That's
as
right.
long as God using me, that's what I'm here for. We don't know what we're here for. We here to help.
Right.
We here to help and bring as many people to Christ as possible. And that's what I
Mm-hmm.
plan on doing with my story because the whole moral of it is who brought me out. You know, who brought
Yes.
me out and who brought me through to help you. Who better to let somebody know how to come out of something than somebody. I tell people all day long,
Exactly.
I don't sympathize with abusive people. I
Right.
empathize with them because
That's
I
right.
walked it, I lived it, I
Right.
breathed it.
Yeah.
So I know how you feel. This ain't I know how you feel because I'm listening to your story. I lived it. We are the same people.
Right.
So that's solely my goal to help reach, touch, and bring to Christ. That's it
Yes.
for the rest of my life.
Amen.
I am nothing but a vessel for the Lord. That's what
That's
I'm here for.
awesome. That's
Now,
awesome.
can you tell the people how to find you, how to follow you, and how to connect with you?
Yes, ma'am. You can find me at Paige Parkerson, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. My email is Parkerson Page. That's PARKERSON Page PAIGE at gmail.com. Those are the four
Awesome.
places you can
Awesome.
contact me.
Do you have any last words for the viewers before you leave?
Stay prayed up. We are living in our last days.
Mm-hmm.
Help as much as you can. As much as you can, love as much as you can. If you see something, say something. All you have
Yes.
is calling the police. People don't have to know
Yeah.
it's you. Help.
Yep.
Right.
Yes.
Help as much as you can.
Yes.
My motto is love, laugh, and live the right
Right.
way.
Mm.
That's all I
I
have to
love it.
say.
Powerful.
Be
Amen.
blessed.
Lyrica, do you have any last final sayings or anything you want to bless the people with today?
Well, I just want to say, one key thing that she said is about it's important to recognize those red flags. A lot of times we just kind of blow past it. But I kind of want to go back and highlight about red flags. They're there for a reason. Take heed, don't dismiss it, don't ignore it, because it'll cost you down the road if you do.
Right.
So, yeah.
So y'all heard it here. Red flags, pay attention, self-worth, learn to love you, and keep God first.
Yes, absolutely.
And all those good things. As always, we thank y'all for tuning in to Testimonial Tuesday. We will be back, not this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday, because, you know, we got to take a break in there somewhere. But as always, if y'all want to be on Testimonial Tuesdays, we are always here to be allowing you to come and tell your story and bless our stage to bless someone else. That's what we're here for. Your story is basically for you to be that vessel to talk about what you've been through to help someone else understand that you can move through it and grow through it and become a better version of yourself. As always, we appreciate y'all. Y'all can contact me at escadine16@gmail.com and Lyrica
at booking@lyrical7.com.
And we are always waiting and looking for guests. We're always open. So please come enjoy. Come spread the love. Come bless somebody. As always, we'll see you not this Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all like, share,
Thank y'all for having
and comment. I want to make sure you spread the word. Just spread it. Share it everywhere. And all y'all groups and all the things, share it. Tell them about us. Because we are here for it. Y'all have a good one as always.
Thank y'all.
Join
God
hosts
bless.
Sheena Gerdine and Lyrical 7 for Testimonial Tuesdays for 3 Tuesdays of each month. The testimonies that their guests give are not only life-changing, but they are also powerful and emotional as well. So please, join us